I will die on that hill.
Golden kill.
Oh god.
Oh god.
This.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
He said I do. He said I do.
The sickest night ever.
Vanilla thunder.
I absolutely love Miley Cyrus. No. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Call Guys podcast. I'm Gunner, also known as Chico Noise, 3-time podcast host. And I just want to say thank you to all of our family in the Golden Mojo Entertainment family, all of the other podcast hosts that take the time out of their episodes to give our socials, talk about the other podcasts in under the umbrella. And also all those listeners out there that come back every week, listen to the Call Guys, send us emails, give us feedback, like and comment and share our posts on Facebook. I really want to thank everybody that takes the time out of their week. And I just wanted to give a shout out to SOP Indiana Chiefs fans, Golden Image podcast, and the Murdnerds for being here with us and doing this thing with the Emperor at the helm. It's been fun. This is episode 34. Alongside me, as always, my good friend Juan Keel for 3, or as most people probably call him, Colton.
Vanilla thunder.
Thunder!
Dude, I'm telling you, every time the Emperor says that, I die laughing. He missed a calling. Okay. I remember my junior year in basketball, and one of my favorite memories, I have a lot of them because there's just a lot, but I loved our announcer for the games. Okay. His name was John Contreras. We called him Johnny C. He was also the pastor of my church, and he had a voice that was like an angel when it came to calling a basketball game.
Nice.
And your dad's voice reminds me of that. Like, I would just love to have him sit down, and I don't know how much he knows about basketball or anything like that, but I feel like if he got a couple games under his belt, knew what to look for, knew what to call things, like, I think he would be perfect because he's got an excellent voice to be a call guy in that sense.
Yeah, well, he's talked about it in past Golden Image podcast episodes where they actually asked him to be an announcer for the Derby girls when they were in Warsaw. Yeah. I mean, he could have done it. He should have done it. I mean,
he should have.
Yeah. I don't actually know if they got very far into their actual play, but yeah, he would have been really, really good at it. That's why he loves radio.
I mean, he's got the voice for radio. He's got the voice. He's got the face for radio too.
If he wears his Emperor's robe. If anybody watched last week's episode on YouTube, the Emperor's pop-in on the Call Guys was a black screen where he's talking in his Emperor voice and then lifts the camera flap up, which is this little black thing that goes on the camera like that. He lifts it up and it's just him in his Emperor robe. And oh my gosh, it's so funny. That was great. I want to thank Logan for coming on and just hanging out for that episode. That was.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say Logan made that episode.
Oh yeah,
hands down. Logan made that episode. We got to find a way to get him on more with other things because I would love if our 2SOP episode was just straight up Marvel talk because they sound like they got some interesting takes on some Marvel.
Yeah.
And I think that could potentially, I don't know if it would come close to Beer 30 length, but it would definitely be a top 5 length episode, I have a hunch.
Yeah. Well, even that episode with them for Halloween, that was a top 5 length for an episode. A little over 2 hours, but it was a fast 2 hours, man.
I didn't know, like, when it popped up on my phone in the morning on my way into work, I was like, dude, there's no way we took that long.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like I re-listened to it again, and I didn't realize it was that fast. I was like, "What is going on?
It was so
fast.
This? fast listen. Go check it out.
It's a great listen.
Yes,
Great
episode
listen.
33. It's our This is Halloween is what I called it because of the whole discussion about how Nightmare Before Christmas is either a Halloween or a Christmas movie, and nobody can seem to decide what it actually is. So,
Well, it's
Yeah.
because it's a Halloween movie. That's why. I don't know why people are struggling with this, but I mean, we even got an email from our top number one emailer,
mhm,
Arian, and she believes that it is a Halloween and
it's a
a
both.
Christmas movie.
It's a both.
And I just, I'll be honest, I don't want to watch The Nightmare Before Christmas in Christmas time.
I feel like the characters make it a Halloween movie, but that was last week's episode. So
So we digress because Gunnar
yeah,
doesn't want to make anybody upset.
it is the diehard question.
It's, I mean, that would be, that's actually a good episode idea.
The diehard question. We'll just call it the
Yeah.
diehard question.
Yeah.
Every movie that we have to question of what time of the year or what
Like-
holiday or when you watch it.
Like most controversial movie takes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The diehard question. I like it. Add it to the list.
Oh, look at
That's
us,
good.
Brave. Look at us. Look at us.
So, Colton-
contributing.
Colton, along with that intro, I do want to thank you also. I thank all the other hosts for, shouting us out and doing all this stuff. But thank you for being here, doing this podcast with me. As always, I like to say it, and I know you're mad at me because I did not answer your phone call yesterday.
Dude, I was dealing with stuff. I've been dealing with stuff all week. Oh man, I got some problem with some ewes. And last couple days I'm a little upset. I had to actually miss out a day with my kid because of it, and I only got to
Yep.
see him for not even 30 minutes all day one day this week. So I'm hoping that the quote unquote worst is behind us. I have handled this in every way that I know how to handle it properly,
Good.
because I keep telling the law enforcement people that I am worried, very worried I will handle this improperly. And if that was to happen, I don't think good things would come from it. So every time I've had to talk to a law enforcement person, that is the one thing I want to reiterate, is that, I am choosing to handle it this way.
The right way. Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping it's the right way.
It's the right way, trust me.
And so yeah.
I know.
So
I know you
far-
don't. I know you don't want to get into talking about that. So
So yeah, I mean, all in all, so far we're off to a good start. It's, we'll
Yeah.
just see. We'll
Yeah.
just see.
anything else going on this week? That's
I do,
Fun,
man.
crazy?
Honestly, no, man. I've been this has kind of been the thing that's consumed me the last 6 days. Like, man,
Yeah.
it's like I don't. I mean, I could talk about this for a while, honestly, just to vent and feel better about it.
yeah.
But I mean, I think I'm hoping the worst is behind us. We can move forward, and
Move forward.
yeah,
That's right.
it's just tough, just trying to do the right thing as a husband and a father, and how do you tote that line of how do you
Not
tote
being
that line?
not being the rage monster.
Yeah, because you've been in my house. I've got stuff. What I'm trying to stop is it escalating into something further.
Yeah.
I think there's been lines that have been crossed. None of this. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. It's none of that. This is past the part of
Getting fooled.
playing around, and this is real stuff. And now, yeah, I just don't want anybody to win any prizes of mine. So
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry it's been hectic and crazy and frustrating for you.
yeah, man.
And
Yeah,
sorry I didn't answer the phone call, because if I would answer the phone call, I would have got this whole story yesterday. And it would have
yeah,
been
no, man, you're
all
good. You're good. I mean, like I said, man, I'm just I feel a little bit relieved today that I believe like the main stuff has been taken care of.
Yeah.
I have done everything I'm supposed to do. It is completely 100% out of my hands. And if anything is to happen again, I have a quote unquote a contact to handle it, and I believe it'll get handled because of what had happened today.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of one of those things that it's completely out of my hands, and I'm okay with that.
We're gonna get a million emails saying, "What happened, Colton?"
Well, good. Guess what?
Bring on the emails. Get in the drawing. Get in
yeah,
the drawing for these Wally bugs. Send us an email.
That's another ththing. Let's segue into that, because, like I said, we could talk about my problems all night. The Wally bucks. How many people do we have in it? We've got at least like 6 or 7 people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I actually need to go through.
More.
I need to go through and actually tally them up. We have this episode 35, episode 36. We will draw the name for the Wally bucks. So you have 2 more episodes to like, comment, share our post for 5 drawings, and then for 5 entries. And then if you like or comment, it's 1. And then if you send us an email, and the email, in that first episode, we said you had to say,
you had to I want in the wall, but no, we're not doing that anymore.
If you send us an email, we will put you in. thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com. You can also go to our Facebook, facebook.com/thecallguyspod, and you can like, comment, share, whatever you want to do on our posts, and we will enter you into the drawing for 50 biggins, the Wally bucks.
I'll be honest, dude. I really want it to be somebody who's never had it. And
oh yeah, me too.
I would want to go with this person. And if you'd come, that'd be awesome too. And just buy $50. Well, it'll probably be more than 50, but at least $50 worth of what to get from Penguin Point.
Yeah. Yeah, you want 3 big Wallies, a couple tenderloins, a couple family boxes of fries, and that's probably $50.
That's got to be close to 50. Yeah. If not, we'll get some drinks.
Yeah. Please send it. Do whatever you want to do. Get in the drawing, and we will draw it live on the podcast in episode 36. At the end, it'll be the last thing we do in that podcast, or however we decide to do it at that point. I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We got time. I do have a fishbowl here, so.
Oh, okay, Colton's the one drawing.
That's fine.
Or we could put a random name generator up here and then put the names in, and then it would just pop it in.
Oh man, that might be better, because I'm telling you, I'm worried about getting somebody like your dad or my dad.
Yeah. Your dad is in it. I'm pretty sure he's liked the post.
He's liked and he shared. I don't think he commented though, so I think he's in for 2 right there.
Nice. I like it.
So yeah, man. How's your week, man? It's got to be better than mine.
I finished a big project at work, which was like, oh man, I've been working on it for almost a month.
Oh,
and so our company does shows. They travel around the United States and they show our product, which is fence and gates and railing and handrail and all this stuff, screen doors. So they do these shows. Well, the kid that was doing the shows, who I love this kid. He is an awesome kid. He did a really good job. He left to get a better job, and that's great. I'm super happy for him. But he left with all of the knowledge and all of the hard work. And guess who had to take it over? This guy. So these past past month, I've been working on this show and stuff I've never done before. So I learned a lot, learned how to install a lot of our products, which was nice. So it's kept me really busy. And then Dad's been building his new deck. The Emperor is building a deck on their house. So in the evenings, I've been going over there and helping build this deck.
Dang.
So working hard at work, going to help my dad, working hard there. So, but yeah, and then Sarah and I ordered a new bed. So we got our new bed.
Dude, man, I just went to the crib, the new house, and I kid you not, folks, I don't fit on a lot of stuff, but I'm telling you, if I had to live on this bed that they have right now that sits 2 inches off the ground, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how you do it, man.
Hey, it works. Well,
I don't
now
know how.
I will send you when I go upstairs. I will send you a picture of the new bed. We got a nice big king size bed
It still ain't
with
big enough
with
for
an
me.
for you with an adjustable base, so like you can adjust
Same.
it up into
Oh
the
yeah, we got that.
dude.
You got the zero gravity feature.
Oh yeah,
button.
that's right. Does it actually keep you from snoring when you put it in snore mode?
Dude, I have no idea.
Okay, well, yeah, but it was much
Just lifts
needed.
up the head. That's all it
Yeah,
does.
it was much needed. I mean,
Good.
I'm excited. This is gonna be my first night sleeping in it tonight. So we got
I'm
it today,
excited.
and they came and they installed it. They did all the work. So Sarah did make me move the couch to her office, and by God, if that couch would fit through that door, it would have been the best day of my life. I'm not so it's
You
not
couldn't
like
like L
this.
it through?
Well, it was just a hair too tall and a hair too wide. So it was catching on both. So it's a pull-out couch. So it's got the heavy
Oh
mattress and
yeah, it's
all the
heavy. Oh
hardware.
dude. Yeah.
So I'm trying to lift. I'm manhandling this. Sarah's pushing on it, and it's like, okay, give me a second. And I finally just freaking yoinked it through the door. Didn't break anything, so that's good. Fit. It's in the other room. If I take it out there, it's gonna have to be cut in half.
That's awesome.
But no, it's been a really good week. I'm ready. We have a busy weekend. I thought I was done with busy weekends. Um, my parents are off to Kansas City, so we have Ozzy. Sarah's sister's coming for the week. She's coming Friday through Monday. So when this
Okay.
airs, she will be on her way home probably. She's bringing 3 dogs, and then Sarah's mom's also coming Saturday through Thursday, and she's bringing 2 dogs. And we have Ozzy, and then my sister's coming on Friday. So it's gonna be busy. There's gonna be six dogs in this house.
And how many women are going to be in there?
Four. Can I say this? I don't know if I can say. I love all of these ladies that are in this house, and you know what I'm gonna be doing? I'm gonna be right here. Maybe not. I don't know if you've met Sarah's mom. She is
Yeah,
the
I've
most
met them. They're
lovely
nice.
lady.
Yeah, very lovely.
And
Hey,
you
man.
you walked with who did you walk with at the wedding?
Someone? I don't remember.
You walked with my sister?
Yeah, I did walk with
Okay.
your sister, I think. I think so.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah, it does sound right.
What were you gonna say?
I didn't even get invited to the wedding. I was gonna say, man, hey man, if you want, man, I got the basement here.
Well, I already told my parents if Ozzy doesn't get along with the other dogs, I'm just gonna stay at their house. So, which is they'll be back Tuesday. So, if I need to stay there, I'll stay there. It's all good. But yeah, I had a awesome week.
Nice. Good. I'm glad, man.
I'll
That's
counter
awesome.
I'll counter your bad week with an awesome week. Colton, are you ready for the question of the pod?
Oh,
I
man.
feel like we did one last week.
Yeah, we've
but-
done it. We've done it 33 weeks,
Yes, we have.
including this week.
This is 35.
Well, we've done it
34.
We've done it 33 times.
Yes, Colton. Sarah gave me this question of the pod,
Oh,
and I had a very hard time picking an answer because I didn't want that cliche answer.
okay. Now I'm curious what the cliche answer is. Let's hear it.
So, Sarah's question of the pod that she gave me today is: if you could be an animal, what animal would you be?
It's a cliche answer: a dog or a cat?
No, like a lion, or or a shark. Like I feel like that would be like the cliche. Like, oh, I would be a lion, right? So I'm trying to think of
I think I'd be a squid.
a squid.
Yeah,
Why?
like a giant squid.
Why?
All them legs.
Tentacles.
Yeah. Two big old goofy eyes.
Can you guess my answer?
No, I don't, man. Oh God, it's not a squid, is it?
No.
Thank God. Uh, uh, y- I mean, I could see you being something stupid like a rabbit or something.
A squirrel.
Yeah.
No, I do have a reasoning
A squirrel.
because it's one of those questions. Like I said, I didn't want to choose something cliche. Everybody that if you answer this question right off the top of your head, you think lion, you think tiger, you think something badass like a bear, right? I was like, I want to be honest. Like that's what I was thinking in my head. I was like, I don't want to be something like that. I want to be something that's lazy but smart, right? Like a squirrel is a super,
Isn't it finding nuts all year just so it can make it through the winter months?
but that's smart, right? Like
But that's not lazy.
yeah, but I'm sure they're kind of lazy. My other one was a lemur. I was thinking lemur, but then I was like, I think
So what,
squirrel.
you could be Zaboomafoo.
Zaboomafoo, yeah. But yeah, I think I don't know.
See, I think I'd want to be like an ocean animal.
Yeah.
I think that's what I would like. You know, hell, if you're going for that, you might as well just be a starfish.
You can be whatever you want.
I'd be a giant squid.
Anybody that has an answer to the question of the pod this week, we'd love to hear them because I just want to see what everybody would say.
A squirrel.
What animal? What animal would you be? How about a red panda? They're lazy.
People hit squirrels on the road all the time.
I didn't say they're like
People hunt squirrels.
They're dumb smart. They're dumb smart.
Dude, you're not even close to an apex animal.
I don't need to be an apex. If I die on the road getting hit by a car, that's my fault. I was just going.
Do you know how many of those get killed a year?
Probably
a lot.
I at least see probably 1 or 2 a week. I'm going
squirrel.
I'm going squirrel, and I'm sticking with it. And that's my final answer. But yeah, okay, giant squid and squirrel. 2 completely opposite animals.
A squirrel.
Let me change my answer. It would be a megalodon.
No, you're a squirrel.
And I would eat a giant squid. That's right. Okay.
Oh my.
All right.
It's too funny.
I just want to chill, collect my acorns, and hibernate. And if I'm in a hurricane, I just die. Apparently, according to my brother. So,
I feel like a giant squid is lazier than a squirrel.
yeah, that some bitch just floats all day. What does he do? Eat plankton and shrimp?
I don't know much about them.
Me neither. I don't think. Do they still exist?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Do some research. thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com. Send me a picture of a giant squid and tell me what animal you would be.
Anybody who sends a picture of a giant squid gets 10 entries into the Big Wally giveaway.
Oh, all right. If you send us a picture photoshopped, a giant squid with a penguin head on it, you get 20 entries.
Penguin head?
Yeah. Wally.
Okay. Man, someone's going to be working hard for these bucks.
Yeah, my brother's going to be the only one that photoshops anything and throw it on there.
He doesn't listen to this.
Yeah. All right, Colton. Good question on the pod. Before we get into...
That was great. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, before we get into what we're going to talk about today, I have a couple things I want to talk about coming up here in the call, guys. And we already kind of recapped episode 33 a little bit. Like I said, I want to thank Logan. I want to thank the Emperor. It was a great episode. I got a lot of great feedback, and everybody thought it was amazing. And I did too. I listened back. So fun to listen to. Episode 50 will be the Emperor Strikes Back. It's going to be the Emperor's 50th birthday bash. It'll be in February that episode comes out. And then we will have episode 52 just a few episodes after that, where we are going to celebrate 1 year of the Call Guys. So look forward to that episode coming up. We also have our Black Panther review episode coming up. We are going to go see it hopefully this coming Friday.
Yes. Podcast land.
This coming Friday. And then some other random episodes we have coming up. The Sandlerverse. books to movies, and then a Thanksgiving and a Christmas themed episode. So hopefully we can get some really cool guests on those 2 episodes too, because I feel like holiday episodes should have a guest.
I think we should always have a guest.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. To be honest with you, that was, I mean, our best episodes are when we have people on here.
Oh, for
And
sure. I mean,
I wholeheartedly like agree with that statement.
yes, we are at our best when other people are doing the work for us.
Exactly. So, guys, if you are an avid Call Guys listener and you listen to us every week, you have a lot to look forward to. If you want to hear us talk about anything else, or if you have an idea for a topic for an episode, send an email to thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com.
Done.
All right, Colton.
Also, another thing I want to hit on
Oh.
before we get in on this is that we really want to have a participation with our listeners. So please, for our next episode, we are going to do movies of the 90s.
Yes.
Please send those emails to us before next week, and we want to read off your list as we are reading off our list as well. So it's not just a reactionary list that you're getting. It's being a part of the episode.
Yeah.
So I'd really like to get some others, some lists from the 90s of everybody's favorite movies for the next episode. So that way we can discuss about them, and we can talk about, hey, you know, such and such had the same movie as us for number 2 or something like that. So it doesn't have to be long. You can just do 5, 4, 3, 2, honorable mention 1, or you can give a whole movie spiel if you want on why it's
I'd love it if you do send us a list and you want to make it a little bit more detailed, send us your favorite scene from the movies, and we'll talk about it. So Colton kind of already mentioned it. This episode is starting our 3-part episode where we're going to cover our top 5 movies of different decades. And I think that the 3 decades we've chosen, the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, are probably the most important decades for movies for me and you. I know you watched a lot of John Wayne growing up, which would be way before this.
Oh, it's way before this.
Yeah. But I mean, we're both born in the 90s. We grew up on 80s movies. We really watched a lot of 90s movies in our teenage to probably late teen years. And then the 2000s kind of what shaped us with movies. So the next 3 episodes, we are going to be talking about our top 5 movies from each of those decades. And we are going to start with the 80s. And we are going to do this in typical Call Guys fashion. 5, 4, 3, 2, honorable mentions 1. So yeah, like Colton said, send us those emails if you want to send us your lists, and we will read them off as we go through our lists and kind of just keep it going. Send those to thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com. So Colton, let's start with the good old 80s. You want to go first?
I'm going to start it right dead nut in the middle. 1985.
Jamie just hit the wall.
She never had it all.
1 Prozac a day.
Husband probably is a CPA.
Yeah. Her dreams went out the door when she turned 24.
24, yeah.
Yeah. What you got?
Well, she's only been with one man.
What happened to her plan?
The 85 Bears is what happened to her plan. That's the only thing good that came out of the 85 years is the Chicago Bears. This man right here should have got a touchdown in that game. But I will digress.
Yeah, I'll let you.
Of course you will.
Indiana Chiefs Fans Podcast, Facebook.com/INChiefsFansPod.
Suck it.
Oh, what you got?
Yeah.
Number 5.
Clue.
Oh, okay.
I remember watching this movie as a kid. I remember the first time I did watch it. Okay, my mom was a secretary at a church, and the church was kind of big. And I remember, Clue to a young child at the time is kind of a scary, intense movie because I thought it's my favorite. It's one of my favorite Tim Curry movies. And, just the suspense. It's a very suspenseful thriller. even though it is rated PG, but you know, in 1980s PG movie, not a 2020
Definitely not the
PG
same thing.
movie.
Yeah.
No, they're a little bit lax back in the day. But
Yeah.
anywho, I remember when I first watched this movie, and you know, I watched it. Mom had to go and do secretary work for the church, so I would always go and play basketball in the gym,
Mhm.
and it had this kitchen and the lights were always off in there. And I remember sometimes I'd be shooting hoops and I'd look back, you know, because there's kind of a hallway and then it turns and it's just dark in those hallways with some light, little bit of light and not much. Well, I remember one time I got scared. Like I thought someone was in the kitchen and I took off running down the hallway through the church to my mom's office like, like I was scared to death. And my mom's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?" She's like, "I was like, I think I saw somebody." And my mom's like, "What?" I was like, I swear, I think someone's in the kitchen." So what's my mom do? She
Gets
walks
up.
right down to that kitchen.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're gonna get to the bottom of this real quick. And
Mhm.
it's like, dang right, mom, crack someone's skull open.
Yeah.
And what happened? Nothing.
Nothing.
Not a
Nobody there.
sign. All the and one of the weird things is all the doors were locked always when we were in there. Nobody could have got in. And it was just my mind going places
Yeah.
because of this movie. And it's kind of my love of it's kind of like the first like thinker movie that I ever watched where you had to process and keep up with things throughout, like, you know, who was there when this happened, who was there when that happened.
Yeah.
You know, we're trying to remember motives and trying to remember who it is. And then to me, it has one of the all-time best endings of a movie ever. I love how it ends. That movie ends where it ends with, well, what if this happened? And then this plays out. And they said, well, it could have been this when they're revealing the killer at the end of the movie. I
Yeah.
thought that was just so unique and so cool how they did that. And then they finished it with a, well, here's what really happened. And I was like, oh man, this is like, it was great. I just loved it. It kind of gave me you know, that thrill um, of a
The
thinking
mystery.
movie.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
a
of a
mystery.
thinking movie. I love thinking movie. I love a good plot twist. I love, simple sleight of hand magic. You know, look over here while the other hand's down here doing something. Like that's what
Yeah.
I love about that movie. It's so misdirectional, and it's just I just love it. I think probably because it's my first movie like that, so that's why it holds near and dear in my heart at number 5. What is your
Good.
number 5,
It's
brother?
that's good. So my number 5, 1984. We actually talked about this movie last week for a short stint of time during the Halloween episode. We actually had the diehard question about this movie, um, whether it's a Christmas or a Halloween movie. Um, it's one of my favorite childhood movies. It is The Gremlins.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
it's one of those I remember watching over and over and over again, whether it was Halloween or Christmas. And it was always one of those that as a kid was more suspenseful, kind of a thriller and a little bit scary, right? As a kid, when you're watching this, it's like, oh, this little cute creature is turning into a goblin, pretty much, right? Um,
Yeah.
so it's like you fall in love with Gizmo as a Mogwai, and then you see what they actually can be. And I feel like there's a lot of like background to that, and like watching that movie and thinking like now more so that like there's a lot of kind of parallels to thinking about people in general and like how people aren't exactly what they seem to be all the time, you know? So there's different things as an adult you pull from these movies now, but as a kid it was just one of those things where like you pull the Colton and you have your blanket up over your eyes as your Mogwai is turning into a gremlin, right? And um there's always that saying, and what is it? Never expose them to sunlight, never get them wet, and never feed them after midnight. And that just makes you think. And I mean, I don't know when Furbies came out, but Furbies look a whole lot like
they do.
a Mogwai. But yeah, it's one of those movies that I always loved watching, and I actually haven't watched it in years, and the more I think about it, the more that we've talked about it in the last 3 episodes, because I think we've mentioned it multiple times. I just need to go back and watch it. I need to make Sarah watch it because I don't think Sarah's ever seen Gremlin. So
Interesting. I
Yeah.
can see that.
great, fun movie. Definitely, if it came out now, you would see tons of gizmos on the
Oh,
toy store. I'm sure back then there were too, but it would be even more. Like you'd see little baby Yodas or like on the shelf everywhere, right?
Correct.
Like it would just be gizmo everywhere.
Oh yeah, it'd be the number one Halloween costume. And
Oh yeah. So yeah, Gremlins,
Nice.
1984. I beat you by
84.
a year on my first one.
84.
85. What you got for number 4?
My number 4, 1987.
87.
Hello. My name is
Chicka chicka slim shade.
Inigo Montoya.
Indigo Montoya.
You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Prepare to die.
Obviously, The Princess Bride. Oh, not The Princess Bride. Yeah, The Princess Bride. I'm an idiot. I don't know why.
You quote the movie, then you get lost.
I did. I got
Marriage
marriage
is what brings
is what brings us together today.
Yes.
Inconceivable.
Great movie.
Yeah, tons of quotable lines. 87, like I said, I love the storyline because it is I felt like, to me, it was like the first like princess movie that was not about a princess.
Yeah,
I felt like it was a guy's princess movie. Like, yeah, there's a love story, of course, but that's not what it's about.
you know what you literally just made me think something that I'd never had thought. There are so many parallels, and I'm sure they did this 100% on purpose. Shrek and The Princess Bride.
I mean, probably it's got to
that
come
is
from
like
somewhere.
that is insanely identical as a movie, right? I mean, very, very close. Not the whole like all that stuff, but like it's very, very similar.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can see it.
That. Yeah. Okay, proceed.
Nope. Fred Savage, Bears fan. I believe he dons this guy's jersey right here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
During the whole thing, because it's another first that I remember watching of an actual like flashback and a flash forward. Like, it was completely storytelling,
legitimately telling a story.
Yeah. And I just, like I said, it felt like a guy's chick flick for the time, in my opinion. I think that's why I loved it so much, is that, it was a prince rescuing a princess, and but it's about that whole journey and everything he's gone through and all the shenanigans he goes through with Andre the Giant.
Freaking Andre the Giant.
Oh my gosh, that cast. I mean, it's a solid cast right here. I mean, what do you do? What do you do?
It really is. Yeah.
It was definitely, for the time, I thought it was great. I would tell anybody to watch. You need to watch it.
Well, and we've talked about The Princess Bride. I don't know how many times on this podcast, but my dad did open my wedding ceremony with the marriage line.
Dude, I died when he said that.
Yeah. And, Sarah and I have dressed as characters from The Princess Bride for different events. Like we did Scott and Beth's wedding. I mean, it's a very important movie to Sarah. She loves the book. We
Oh yeah.
actually, for Scott and Beth's wedding, we got them the big hardback copy, the pictured copy where you can flip through and it's written in like the really nice gold lettering. And like it's just it's an important movie to me because my wife loves it so much and it's drawn me into it even more. So
Okay. Nice. That's awesome.
yeah.
Like I said, I remember watching it at my grandparents' house. Um, Ironically, when I was sick, it was a movie that my grandparents had in a side drawer that had a bunch of movies that we got to watch. And I remember picking that one out on nights when we'd spend the night sometimes, and I remember watching that. So
Yeah.
so yeah,
Nice.
Princess Bride is my number 4, brother. What's yours?
1989,
Okay.
Patrick Swayze.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Nope, it is Roadhouse. another
Roadhouse.
another movie that we have talked about on this
Oh
podcast before.
gosh, Roadhouse.
And I can watch this movie over and over and over again. And I'm not going to give a full explanation since we've talked about it before. But like I said, I can watch it pretty much anytime. I love the cheesy fight scenes. They're just great. Um, the whole story of him coming to this town to clean up a bar that's full of it's just trash. This bar is trash. He's going in. He's got a reputation of being just a badass that fixes things, makes things better. He lives in the barn with the old man, with the rich guy that lives across the water, and rips a guy's throat out, which is
Oh yeah.
I the moment. So we're at Disney, right? We're hanging out in the room and we're sitting there and I'm flipping through the channels and Roadhouse starts. And I'm like, we're watching it. We're watching it. This is a great movie. Sydney, you're gonna love this movie. Lucas, you're gonna love this movie. So we flip it on, we're watching it, we're watching it. They're like, yeah, this is really good. Even Lucas told me the other day, he's like, I loved Roadhouse. The moment that he grabs the guy's throat and rips it out, Sydney goes, what the heck is this movie? I'm like, isn't it awesome?
Oh my gosh.
I've just always loved it. My dad introduced me to it. It's a great Patrick Swayze film. I love in the bar the guitar player. Jeff Healey is the actor. He plays a guitar player. Actually, was a real blind guitar player, and he passed away. I think he passed away really young. But I just think it's really interesting that they actually had a blind guy playing as the blind guitar player. So
Nice.
fun fact about Roadhouse: people rip throats out, and there's a blind guitar player.
Sweet.
So yeah, Roadhouse number 4.
Number 4.
What you got for number Trace?
Sha-da-na-na-na-na. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. La-da-da-da-da-da.
No, go for it. You're gonna say it.
Pool? Pond? Pond be good for you? Caddyshack.
Oh,
Oh, Caddyshack. This movie is 1980s, right off the beginning to start the decade.
mhm.
This to me is peak, Chevy Chase, Bill Murray era. Like this
Yeah.
is what they're known for. This is their gig.
Slapstick.
This is their shtick.
Yep.
So, I think it's just a movie I watched a lot growing up, being a golfer, emulating the Bill Murray scene where he is hitting flowers with an iron, and he's going through his shot progressions and asking like he's commentating a golfer on
Yeah.
the course. It's the kid's story. You got the whole pool scene with the baby Ruth.
Mhm.
You've got that. I think the thing that is just so over the top about it is the Rodney Dangerfield character. Is you want to just talk about the guy that went above and beyond everyone else in this. It's that dude.
Yeah.
And I think that just made that movie even better. And I actually think that that this golf course that they were using was actually being renovated, which is why they were able to do the last scene the way they were able to do the last scene, is because they were renovating the course.
Nice.
So, great, great, great lines. Well, we're waiting. Like, just, I mean, tons of quotable lines. A lot of different characters to go out. You've got Danny and Tony. You know, you've got the pregnancy scare. You've got Chevy. You've got Bill Murray. I mean, Bill Murray and Chevy Chase alone with their carried this movie, I think. But obviously, in the second one, you want to talk about a flop of a movie. Is that second Caddyshack movie is garbage.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen it, but do not waste the time.
So
Talk about a cash grab for Chevy.
yeah, I would say 100% the 80s are Chevy Chase and Bill Murray's peak years in cinema.
I would
Right?
throw in Aykroyd too.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
would throw in Dan Aykroyd with them.
But I will say that I'm excited to see Bill Murray and Ant-Man. I think that might be good. So we'll see. Maybe
I
not.
mean, it's part of the MCU now, and the MCU's on my crap list. So,
It can't be as bad as Russell Crowe.
oh god,
We're not going there. Great Caddyshack. Great movie.
Great, yeah.
As a terrible golfer, I can only say I've seen Caddyshack like maybe twice.
Hey, we're all getting laid.
I love the slapstick that Chevy does. I do, and that's why Vacation is such a good movie. It's that dumb humor, and we'll get back to some dumb humor here in a little bit, I'm sure.
Oh, so. I'm sure we will.
That's
my number 3, brother. What about yours?
I'm gonna go with a Broderick film, Matthew Broderick. And no, it's not Ferris Bueller. That's the first thing that I think anybody would think when they hear Matthew Broderick, right?
Was that done in the 90s though?
No, it was 80s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was, or maybe a little later in the 80s. Well, this one is 83, and this is a movie I remember watching when I was really young and really enjoying. And I haven't watched it in a long time, but I just really remember enjoying this movie. That is War Games.
Oh, good one.
And I always thought it was so interesting. And as a kid, thinking, oh my God, a kid just hacked into the military. Like how impossible that actually probably really is, but it just in a movie.
Gosh.
But as a kid, it seems so realistic, right? So you're watching this movie like, wow, that's insane. And playing video games as a kid, like growing up, I played video games like crazy. I mean, I'm sure you did too. Like we just played video games. And obviously we didn't play video games to the scale of what he was playing. We played a lot more fun video games, but
yeah,
it's always just been an interesting movie. I always loved watching it. I would actually kind of put it close to like a, oh gosh, I can't think of the name of the movie. Weird Science, kind of that same like type of movie, right? But I don't know. I just always thought it was interesting. He gets the freaking nuclear launch codes by accidentally hacking in because he's downloading a game or something. Like, it's just insane. Insanely fun, I guess, is what I would say. But
insanely fun.
Yeah. You imagine how many people in this world are actually trying to do that right now, probably, right? Like, how many people are like just sitting there eating their chips and cheese and nachos and pizza, trying to figure out the nuclear war codes. And he does it by downloading a game. So yeah, that's my number 3.
War okay. Game. Not bad. Don't not like it. I guess the premise of the movie is what kills me.
Yeah.
Like,
let me just sneeze.
Yeah, that's good. You're good. Don't
what you
worry about it, man. My number 2. Yes, it does make me cry.
Oh, I forgot to ask. Sorry.
That's okay.
You ask yourself.
My number 2 is Dead Poet Society, 89.
Well, we've talked about this one before.
We've talked about it in some Robin Williams
Yep.
stuff. I think it's one of his, top 2. I would say between this one and the therapist from
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. I think those are my 2 favorite serious Robin Williams roles.
Yeah.
I remember watching this movie in school, and just the effect that he had on students as a teacher made me want to be a teacher.
Yeah.
To have that impact, to get through things in life and in general, not just inside the classroom, but outside the classroom, and the lessons he was teaching them. That movie really struck a chord with me with that, a guy like that, a teacher like that, who, especially when he's teaching at the old boys school, and it's a pretty strict place, and he comes in and, he's the goofy guy, the fun guy, and he's just, captain, my captain. And talk about having that type of influence and being able to inspire people to do what they can do and be the best of those people. It's just one of those things that made me want to have that effect on people. So
Yeah.
I think it's just a great Robin Williams based film. So yeah, that's my number 2.
Great movie.
Oh yeah.
What
What about your number 2? Does it make you cry?
I can't say that this movie has ever actually made me cry, but it is one of my top 10 movies.
Isn't most of your top 10 movies in the 80s?
No, not most. There are a couple that are, and a couple that aren't.
Okay.
So Tom Hanks. We've talked about this movie before. 1988. It is big. I have enjoyed this movie since I was like maybe 4, 5, 6, somewhere in there, right? Like it was one of those that was always at my Nana's house, and I always watched it. I've talked about this before. It was like right above the TV, so it was always there, and it just says on the side in big letters, it says big, and it's like, what's this movie? And the first time I watched it, I fell in love with the movie. It was a kid that turned into an adult, got to go work at a toy company, and got to design and live in an apartment with all the toys and test them out. Like I just always thought it was just an interesting, fun movie. Him and his best friend, I cannot think of his name right now. Their relationship throughout the whole film is just so fun. And it's just crazy how it kind of twists because they're both young, right? And then he kind of tries to turn into a father figure to him, telling him that he can't go do this, can't do this, can't do that. And then they kind of lose that friendship. And then when he finally turns back, they're okay. I love watching. I mentioned this scene before, the piano scene in the Macy's store. I always thought that was fun, where they're playing chopsticks on the big piano. It's just, I've always loved to watch the movie, and I think it's a perfect movie for this decade because it is one of my favorite movies of all time. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right, man. Honorable mentions.
I
mean,
every 80s movie ever created.
I mean, we've got the Indiana Joneses, we've got the vacation movies, we've got, Aliens, we've got Ghostbusters, we've got Bill and Ted, and we've got Full Metal Jacket, Siege on Fire Base Gloria, Hamburger Hill, Good Morning Vietnam. I mean, the movies, Uncle Buck, I mean, The Three Amigos, I mean, the list can go on and on in here. Airplanes and automobiles.
I've got Back to the Future. I've got Die Hard. I've got Rain Man.
Okay.
The Breakfast Club.
The
Princess Bride, which you had mentioned.
Yeah.
Weird Science. E.T. and Purple Rain.
Fast Times at Ridgemount High.
Fast Times. There are. You got Dirty Dancing. Like, I mean, it's insane how many movies. The 80s is such a great era for film in general. And I mean, like I said, we grew up watching 80s movies because that's what our parents watched.
Yep.
You know, and I think, I don't know, to be honest with you, 90s movies I probably won't show my kids. It'll probably be like that 2000s. And maybe that's how it works. Maybe you're the generation, the decade you were born, you show your kids the decade after. So we were born in the 90s, so we're going to show our kids the 2000s stuff, right? That's just, I feel like that's kind of how the rotation goes. But I don't know. I don't know. There's so many good movies in the 80s. I'm ready to talk about the 90s because I know there's a ton of good movies in the 90s too. So
yeah, I think I would throw in The Color of Money also in the 80s. So, I mean,
wasn't Bull Durham 80s?
Yep, I believe so. I think you hit the nail on the head about it. Is that it's the movies that our parents watched or grew up with, and so they're gonna pass the buck on to us. They'll have they'd had the VHSs in the house, and yeah, I know what's a VHS.
What the hell's a VHS?
I know.
Every time it's said, I got to do that.
So, I mean, yeah, stuff like that. I think that's perfect because I think the movies I'll probably show will be 2000s movies, and like I'll be thinking of like the Mighty Ducks. I'll be thinking of, I can't think of anything right now.
We will later when we go make the list.
Oh yeah. So yeah, man. I mean, it's just the 80s were just influential to us, and we'll probably pass the 2000s on to our kids, and they're gonna say, "Man, why in the heck did you make me watch The Last Airbender?"
Oh God, I'm not the TV show. Yes, the animated show. 100%. The movie, my kids will never. That is getting locked in a safe somewhere that they're never gonna be able to find. I'm gonna bury it in the backyard.
Oh man, that's hysterical.
Yeah. All right. Number 1, Colton.
It's a John Carpenter classic, man.
Oh
We've
God,
talked about it.
Let me grab a beer. It's beer 30 all over again.
About it. The 1988 classic that nobody knows about. They Live. I've come to do 2 things, and that's chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Bubblegum.
I'm all out of bubblegum.
That's right.
Just a forever great line in movie cinema, in my opinion. Way ahead of its time on so many fronts.
Yeah.
Mostly CGI and special effects, and man, I want them to remake that movie like they remade Total Recall. So much.
I saw a picture of Zac Efron today bulking up for a wrestling movie, and he might be good for that movie.
Done.
There you go.
Sold.
You got your actor.
I mean, I'd love to have Roddy, Mr. Piper back.
Mr. Piper. I don't know if he'd be physically able to do.
I just love to have it be like a bank teller or something. And
yeah.
And that line can be said again, and it pans over to him, and he's like, "That's it."
Yeah.
Then he gets wasted.
Shotgun.
Cool. But yeah, I mean that movie is just so bad. I grew up watching it all because of Snake Plissken's dad, and he got me hooked on that stupid movie, and I can't not watch it. If I see that it's on, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
Because I want to laugh. That's what it does. It makes me laugh. I don't think it's meant to be a comedy, but it is.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
It's got a great premise. I mean, like I said, Mr. Carpenter was way ahead of the time on a lot of his movies.
Yeah.
A lot. And this just goes to show that he was he's a very good 80s director, I felt like.
I feel like Snake Plissken's ears are ringing. He's about to pop in here for some reason.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, man, if I was thinking about it, I'd have sent him over in this thing. I
Yeah.
mean, he just, man, it's so, I mean, it's such a terrible movie, but you go back because you want more. You
Yeah.
want more.
Yeah.
And
Those are the best movies, though.
I encourage anybody, it's on Tubi, watch it and hit us up at thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com. Please,
Yeah.
please hit us up on that.
Let us know what you think.
Yes. Tell me why it's one of the greatest movies ever.
I will tell you what the greatest 80s movie ever created is.
Let me know.
And I know you can guess it.
I don't think I can, man.
Yes, you can. It's my number one movie of all time.
Trading Places.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure,
Yes.
1989. Keanu Reeves, Alex Winter. Oh, party on, dudes! Such a great movie. Colton hates me for this movie. My brother hates me for this movie because I know
hate you for this movie.
I know every line, and if I watch this movie, I quote every single line, and I can't help myself because I just know every line. I've seen it way too many times. I love it way too much. Time travel, historical figures, kind of that police procedural with the dad being a cop kind of deal. That's your mom, dude. Like, it's so fun to watch. Like, I don't know. I've always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed the dumb humor. It makes you see Keanu Reeves in a different light. Like, you see him as John Wick. If you've never seen Bill and Ted and you're a Keanu Reeves fan, you need to go back and watch, because you've seen him in The Matrix, you've seen him in his action flicks, but go back and watch Bill and Ted, because it is great watching Keanu Reeves in that role. Like I said, hundreds of quotable lines. I've just always enjoyed it. I've already recalled the first time I remember watching it in a past episode, but it's a movie that I will share with all of my friends that have never seen it.
Oh yeah.
And I will watch it the rest of my life.
Oh, I'm really hoping my kid comes home to me one time after school and said, "Dad, I got a history project to do." Bill and Ted it is.
Yep. 4 and 7 minutes.
It is. It's a great movie. I knew it was going to be your number one.
Oh yeah. I mean, it couldn't have not been my number one. I mean, I went through lists and lists and lists of movies, and I was like, had my number one typed out before I even started my list.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing I was gonna do, I was gonna chastise you though if you put Back to the Future as a top 5 movie.
I did not. I
know
do
you
it.
didn't.
We've talked about it way too many times.
You have lost the privilege to call that a top 5 movie.
You know, and my problem with Back to the Future is I would replace it out of my top 10 movies of all time if I found something that was better. That would probably be the first one.
Ooh.
That actually, to be honest with you, that and the Goonies. I love the Goonies, but I don't love the Goonies that much. And I think it's the same with Back to the Future. I think maybe I've just seen them too many times. Bill and Ted, for some reason, is just, I can keep on watching it. So, don't know. Good list. Good list, Cole.
I'd love to hear everyone else's 80s, and especially coming up for the 90s. I'd love to read them off. To read them off. So please hit us up at thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com with your 80s and 90s list.
Yep. And so if you want to, also send your 2000s in there too, and we'll get that ready for the next episode 36, after we do the 90s. So
what are we doing on episode 36?
Well, Colton, what are we doing on episode 36? We have mentioned at the beginning of this episode, and we mentioned in the last couple of episodes, we are doing a Wally Bucks giveaway. If you're from Northern Indiana and you love Penguin Point, it's your time to earn 50 Wally Bucks and
50
spend
biggins.
them at your favorite Penguin Point location. Probably Warsaw, because anybody that's around us that's going to enter this is probably close to Warsaw.
Probably.
So yes, we are doing a giveaway for those Wally Bucks. To enter, Colton, you want to explain how to enter into the Wally Bucks?
Yeah, it's pretty simple, guys. Every week on Monday morning, or it's actually Sunday evening, late Sunday evening, early Monday morning, a Facebook post will go out, and it'll just be the Call Guys Podcast on Facebook. And you need to like that post, comment on it, share it. You do all three of those, you are entered in for 5 times into the drawing. 5 times for those 3 simple things. Or if you just do a like or a comment or a share, or you email us at thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com, you are entered into the contest for 1 time. So even if you don't say it, you send an email, bam, you're in the drawing.
You're in
the drawing. So yeah, feel free to hit us up. If you win, great. If you don't win, we're going to do another giveaway. Don't know when, but we'll do another one eventually.
One of these days.
One of these days.
Maybe some actual Call Guys stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, enter, send us comment, share our posts, send us an email, whatever you can do to enter.
Tell us you don't want to be entered into the contest,
and we'll still enter you in.
We'll still enter you in the contest.
That's right. Yes.
Especially all the out-of-state listeners that we have. I really want you guys to win. I really want you to spend money to have to come here and spend $50 at a Penguin Point.
Somebody from Ireland is gonna get
dude
Wally Bucks.
Could you imagine someone from Maine?
I'm sorry. You've done this to yourself. No.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Enter, win those Wally Bucks. Colton, do you have anything else you want to add on 80s movies?
Dude, we missed a bunch.
Oh yeah,
we know
100%.
we did.
Yeah.
That's what the listeners are for, is to pick up the slack that we missed. And,
that's right.
It's just the 80s. I think the 80s is just something special to us because of just our parents. For that
I
reason.
think it's something special just for film in general, and that's the other problem with it, is there's so many good movies. It's hard to pick 5. Right.
Oh yeah, I felt like I feel like in the 80s though, the actors and actresses who were the big ones, they were making 2-3 movies a year. It felt like,
yeah,
and they were just pumping them out in the 80s and the 90s. I felt,
yeah.
So
you're not wrong. All right.
Yeah, man, that's it.
Let's do it, everybody.
Get it.
Everybody, thank you for listening to the Call Guys Podcast. You can find us wherever you get your podcast, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. And please make sure to go check us out on YouTube. That we post our episodes every Monday, along with the episode going up on any of your favorite podcast sites. So yeah, go check us out on YouTube, like, subscribe, click that bell so you get notifications when we do upload a new video. And if you don't watch YouTube, please check us out on your favorite podcast site. You can find us on all your favorite social medias, whether that be Facebook at facebook.com/thecallguyspod, Instagram at thecallguys, and TikTok at thecallguyspodcast. Please, as we've mentioned a million times in this episode, we do have an email. And if you want to send us recommendations for the question of the podcast, future episode topics, anything you want to get entered in that Wally Bucks giveaway, send us an email to thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com. And then always make sure to check out our merch store at www.thecallguyspodcaststore.com. Now, the Skywalker in the last Golden Image podcast?
Correct.
He said that I need to start shortening my socials.
Okay, so the one thing you need to start doing is not listen to your brother.
Oh, I know. I like to read them.
I know. He is a nobody in the Empire. You know where he's at? He's in the custodial part of the ship in the back, doing all that
He was in the trash chute with Han Lei.
Oh yeah, he was down there. He was that creature on the bottom there, popping up and down. Like that was him. Like that is his area. Like, so if he's gonna come in here and tell you how to do those plugs and do those reads, you tell him to kick every rock he sees.
I'm gonna try it one time just for him, just to make the Skywalker happy. You ready for this?
Nope.
Everybody, we are a part of the Golden Mojo Entertainment Network of podcasts. If you want to go check out any of those other podcasts, you can get the links to those podcasts in the podcast notes, whether that be Golden Image Podcast, the Murdnerds, Indiana Chiefs Fans Podcast, or the United States of Paranormal. And soon to come, the Skywalker's new podcast, A Court of Books and Booze. You can check those out. That'll be later in the year or the beginning of next year. So, Skywalker, there you go. I cut him down for you. I'll probably never do that. It was so weird. Do it like
yeah,
that.
didn't like it.
I like
this. Is probably gonna be our worst episode ever because of that.
I think we'll be all right. I do.
If the Skywalker's got something to say about it, maybe you should just come on the pod finally and stop making excuses. Tired of it.
He's got the setup.
I know. There's no more excuses. Like he's just flaking. He's scared.
Skywalker, pick it. You want 90s or 2000s? You let me know. You can come on to the Call Guys podcast.
You don't want the smoke, brother.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Call Guys podcast. We'll see you next time.
Later.
Pew, 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 pew. That's just good stuff.